So, you just started using LinkedIn Premium. Now what? Well, on your premium company page, you noticed around 7.5 times more page engagement and 5 times more page views. Well done. And now, new clients are messaging you. All because you're using LinkedIn Premium, which helps you get the business growth you want. Think big, small business. Think big. Start your free trial at linkedin.com/premium small business. That's linkedin.com/premium small business.
This episode is brought to you by Polestar. There's only one true way to experience the all-electric luxury SUV Polestar 3, and that's to take a test drive. It can go from 0 to 60 in as little as 4.8 seconds with the dynamic handling of a sports car. But to truly understand how it commands the road, you need to be behind the wheel. Up to 350 miles of range, the 3D surround sound system by Bowers & Wilkins. It's all something you have to experience to believe. So book your test drive for Polestar 3 today at polestar.com.
Oh my God, they just keep having us put in more data, and it's like this season is busier and busier.
My numbers are fine.
Mine are down. Mine are absolutely down.
Yeah, so I've been watching The U, or The Ultimatum. You guys, I call it The U.
Hey, Ben, we're all doing work, buddy. We got to work.
Yeah,
So
can you not see? I'm typing.
Totally understand. Just going to take a second. So Lauren, who is in cosmetics, she makes her own cosmetics.
I can't with this guy, Andrew.
This is break time talk. Do you see either of us on break? We're not.
I know, but I just want to tell you about what's happening with her and this dude, Chad. Now, Chad is engaged, and he brought his wife
fart
on
in here?
to the show.
Ben's
But
office is
there's
driving
clearly
me
a bigger
absolutely
problem
nuts.
at play,
Hey,
right?
Ben, can we take a knee? Can we call a timeout? Maybe address all this in today's episode of Advice Fight?
Oh, okay, that sounds great.
Thanks, bud. Hello and welcome to another award-winning episode of Advice Fight. My name is Adam Caton Holland.
I'm Ben Roy.
And I'm Andrew Orvidal.
And this is a competitive advice podcast that is running away with every award available for podcasts. Wellness podcasts,
the Golden Hoop,
the Golden Hoop,
Diamond Gauntlet,
the
inverted onyx cross.
The titanium USB. The titanium USB. We got it.
An Emmy.
Right, Ben?
Yes.
That's a good one, too. That's an
What
award.
about an Emmy award?
I like it.
This is a competitive advice podcast where we will give advice to the listener, but more importantly, one of us will give the best advice, and that's what we're here to determine episode after episode. On today's episode, we have a letter from a listener who has to return to the office and just cannot stand all that comes with being in an office.
Which
The
they are not
farts,
alone.
The small
They're not
talk,
alone.
The shared bathroom spaces. It's a lot, and they want to know how we're going to navigate that, and we're going to help them.
Yeah,
That's a promise.
we are going to help him. Andrew, I'm not going to bother asking Adam because I know that he's never actually worked a job in his
You guys
life.
really, you paint me with these very broad brushes.
With these very rich oil paints.
And it's just not very fair. Because I've had many jobs.
I think it comes out as photorealistic, honestly. I don't think you've ever actually worked a normal
I'm the
job
silver
in your entire
spoon.
life.
I'm the rich boy. I'm the alcoholic. When actually, it's degrees of that.
It's all on a spectrum, and we know that for sure. I'm not saying
Privilege exists on a spectrum, my dudes.
And it's, wow, now you're privilege shaming us?
So don't assume that all privilege is equal to other privilege. Thanks much.
Oh, deplorable. Just
Boy, do I hate thanks much.
Thanks
Thanks
much.
much.
Also,
Yeah.
privilege exists on a spectrum. Ooh, it's going to take some good advice today, my friend. It's going to take some good advice.
I have had jobs. I've had jobs since I was 16.
When was the last time that either of you worked in like an office environment? Actually went into
Like
an
had to
office
go in.
setting?
It has been a minute for sure. I guess the last office, I worked in the medical records department for Colorado Coalition for the Homeless, but I was like in charge of the department, so it was not that bad because I didn't have to put up with
So you didn't have to do any
a lot
work.
of
You were a
exactly.
supervisor, so
I
you
got
didn't do
to
work.
spend a lot of time. No, I wasn't the manager who truly got to do no work. I actually had to retrieve a lot of information. That was probably the last office type job I've had, but I've had a number of office jobs. I've definitely been in a fucking cube plenty of times.
Yeah. Did you like how long ago though? You didn't answer my question at all.
Oh, Colorado Coalition for the Homeless? I don't know. It was 2009. I think I was working there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn. And was it like a cubicle type environment?
No,
Like-
it was the medical records department. So it was like a room of records and there were some desks and computers, but no cubes. It was all open.
have you ever worked in a cubicle?
Yeah,
Like,
I said I've been
Yeah.
in plenty
When
of
the
cubes.
fuck was that?
Or
You
even
fucking
earlier
asshole.
than that. Earlier 2000s. What, do you want the specific dates? Am I in a
I
job
don't know.
interview
That's
now?
it.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, and you didn't get the job because all of this feels like you have been in
Good.
jail.
I didn't want to work for you anyway.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm
he
you
seems
did.
glad.
That's
like a
what you
monster.
applied.
You
He
can't
seems like a
fire me.
monster.
I
So
quit.
you're-
You can't not hire me. I'm
This
withdrawing
is
my
clear.
application.
He's only applying for the job so he can continue
I
to get
know
his
I-
unemployment benefits.
I worked for AT&T in 1999. I was in a cube. I remember because the Y2K scare was going around. And people thought, remember Y2K? What an innocent
my
time. We were so dumb. And I remember that. I was in a cube at AT&T. I worked for a business DSL company called Rhythms Net Connections. I was in a cube for that.
Holy shit, that
was in a
sounds
cube.
awful.
For Rhythms.
Rhythm Net Connection sounds like a fucking R&B group in 1997.
Rhythms
I love
Net
it.
Connections. Yeah.
That rules.
It was not that. It was a internet DSL company.
I love your R&B sound though.
It was
That
pretty good. It was kind of
Thanks.
getting me there. Man.
I'm clearly the person for it.
Adam, I know you worked at Westward, which would have been kind
Did
of
you
a
have a cube?
cubicle-y environment.
100% had a cubicle. Like there was the writer's bullpen, which was all cubicles, and then there was like all the sales team, which was a huge area of cubicles, and then there was just kind of like the executive area that was cubicles. The best part about my cubicle, though, I don't want to brag, is it had a window. So I was up against Broadway, and I just got to watch Broadway foot traffic all day long, walking in front of that window, which was a lot of shuffling, a lot of kind of suspect characters making their way down the B-way. It was kind of fun just watching all those people.
Just a parade of people.
Parade of people, but I wasn't. I was a writer, so I didn't have to stay in my cubicle all the time. You were supposed to be out there interviewing
Living
people, finding
life.
stories, just soaking
Finding
up
the
terroir
burrito
of
cart lady.
Denver and blogging about it at length as the newspaper sucked your youth out of you for $25K a year.
What did
I forgot. Oh, go ahead.
What were you going to say, Andrew? Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Ask Adam your follow-up question.
What did you ever work in a corporate type of?
Never before that. My jobs were all just like, before that it was basically college.
Yep.
And then, or I guess the job I had before that exactly was Urban Outfitters as a salesperson.
Holy shit.
Oh man, if I could have
Yeah.
encountered you then.
Holy
Yeah.
If I get a time machine before I go back to kill Hitler, I'm making a detour
Buddy,
to go
you
bother
go to
Adam.
Chicago, Clark Street, early 2004. You got my full bangs. You got
Maximum
fucking-
bangs, Kate and Holland, wide leg jeans. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm going
my
back.
man. Oh,
I'm going back.
absolutely.
You buried the lead, dude. How have you never
Amazing.
told us that you
He did
worked
tell.
at
He's told us he worked there before. I
I
think.
never knew he worked there.
Yeah.
Maybe I just didn't care.
But
now I care.
Skipped it. I forgot
Guys,
one of my
if you want
worst
to know what it
office
sounded
jobs.
like, play the Postal Service, and it'll take you right to that time when Adam's just crushing it as the front zone associate at the Clark Street Urban Outfitters. Nighttime, he's taking improv classes at Second City.
How many hours did you work that job?
School, wondering, she seems to be on the right track, and I'm crashing on her floor on an air mattress that deflates over the course of the night. So by the morning, I'm flat on the fucking ground.
Yeah.
Nice. Poetic. I forgot one of the most insane office jobs I had was more recently than Coalition for the Homeless. Ben, you remember this because you also worked at this place. I worked for a comedy club, and
Which one?
I won't mention it by name because I'm about to talk
Wits
about
End.
this office. But my office was literally a closet with a stone wall on one side, and I shared it with one other dude. I love him to death. You both know him. This little violent Wolverine of a man named Brett Sweeney, and we would sit. We were like in this closet, the two of us back to back, and we would just like attack each other, almost like at random. He would just turn around and he would just like punch me in the back of the neck, and I would grab him, and we would just be like just wrestling cartoon style, punching each other, knocking over shelves.
That's what cubicles do to people.
It was insane.
This will sound hyperbolic when I say this, but I am not over exaggerating when I say that Brett Sweeney was the meanest human being I've ever known in my entire life. Perhaps he could be so cruel.
He just wanted to fight. And he is a tough dude. He is a tough dude. But I had two brothers growing up, and I was like, I will absolutely fight you in this office.
Oh,
and
God, he would terrify me.
I've never asked this, but he's got to be Massachusetts, right?
No, he's from I
Pittsburgh?
think in Ohio. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
He's got big mass energy.
I thought around Cincinnati. No. Yes. Because he's like a Bengals fan.
Okay.
Well, at any rate, that office job is insane. Ben, I know you worked at an office. You were at a place called NetQuote.
I was. I've done
Were you in the Cube? Were you in the Cube?
Phone jockey for years. Yeah, I did tech support for NetQuote for years. I mean, for Prodigy Internet. I did
the band
in 1998. Prodigy Internet was Prodigy and AOL were the first two.
We were working
service.
at odds. I was at AT&T and Rhythms. We were enemies on the battlefield of the information age.
Yeah, you were R&B. He was industrial.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I like
for
it.
sure.
Thank you, Adam.
Breathe fiber optics.
Ooh, nice.
And then, man, I worked. I had a cubicle job. Where I worked in emergency dispatching when somebody was digging or building something, and if they hit
Cut
a power line underground.
Yeah.
So I did
Call
that.
before you dig, dude. Call.
Exactly.
Talk to Ben.
Read the billboard.
I was one of those guys. I would answer your phone if you called to dig, and then I would notify all the utility companies.
Hello, Ben Roy.
On-site,
What'd you do, dipshit?
on-site targeting is what it was called, I believe, because they send those people out with those ground meters, and then they would spray paint with all the lines and everything.
Sure.
Yeah, I've done it all, man. I worked at Dish Network for a little bit of time, so I have done it.
You're going to be good on this question then, aren't you?
I definitely am. This is a strong suit. I have lived cubicle life for
same
12 or 15 years before I quit to do stand-up, and I will probably end up back there as it is the only thing I am qualified to do.
Well, unfortunately, those jobs are all being automated, so you won't be able to go back.
Well, it looks like I better warm my voice up for Red Robin, like we said about in the last episode.
They're using robots at Red Robin now. I'm sorry.
AI
Singing
birthday
robots.
I can always fall back on Urban Outfitters, just as 50-year-old
Oh, really?
Adam
You left
traipsing back.
Good standing.
Can I just say, They fucking loved me. Within a month, they offered me a manager training job. They're like, you are Urban Outfitters material. And
You've stayed here a month. You are now the longest tenured employee.
You are a garish peckerhead who really fills out that reissued Aerosmith shirt.
Buddy. They wanted me, and I remember the manager said that to me, and I laughed. I laughed at her, and I was like, "I'm taking improv classes at Second City."
Excuse me.
So, this is but a stopping point.
Yeah, you are merely but a stepping stone on my way to working with two other dudes for the majority of my life. You're tethered to us. Can I ask you, did any part of working at Urban Outfitters prepare you for the rest of your life? What did you learn? Give us it now.
Give us it
now.
I like the direction this podcast is turning.
Tell us what you learned during the time at Urban Outfitters that has carried you to this point.
Okay. I remember that every lunch break, every smoke break, every time you had to leave the building, they would search your person and your
they did that at KB Toys too in New Jersey.
To make sure you weren't stealing anything from them.
That's exactly what you do to Andrew and I when we visit your house.
And that's where I
took one thing. I needed a salt shaker, Adam. I thought you were financially able to replace it.
Just ask me, Andrew. That's all I ask.
Yeah. They did that at KB Toys in New Jersey. They would search all the employees. And
you worked at KB Toys?
Yeah, dude, at Garden State Plaza Mall. A mall so big that it qualifies as its own town. It has its own, fire brigade. Fucking gigantic mall. And I didn't know that was ever a thing. And I was like, what? I was like, no, you can't search me. And they're like, yeah, we'd search everyone. You can't go out of the store. I was like, are you serious? I was horrified. And they would pat you down every time you were going to go out.
And then they discovered that.
And I was like, I can't wait to steal from this place.
That was what I was getting in.
I didn't want to steal any of this shit. They gave you a 60% discount. It was wild if you wanted to buy. It was so cheap. But I didn't want to steal anything. But because they searched me, I was like, now I want to steal.
Yeah, exactly.
And they were so offensive at the time. They were selling you could gold pimp teeth. You could put a pimp tooth on and be like, I'm a pimp. It was so insensitive. But because of those, I would take those out of the package.
I know that it's true.
Yeah, it was awful. Like a pimps and hoes party, just awful,
you can't call it
horrible
that.
shit.
It's a sex work supervisor now.
Yeah. There you go.
Sex work supervisor.
Yes. I would take those gold teeth out of the packaging and hide them down my sock just because I wanted to steal something, and then I'd throw them away. Just to be like, fuck you, Urban.
Wow, that's
you were
next level petty.
Deep layers to your larceny that come out from time to time.
Stealing just to throw it away is that's pretty epic.
I've done that at multiple jobs. I'm not a good employee.
Have you stolen from a lot of your
jobs? I keep finding our stuff in the trash.
Yeah,
you got to steal from your job. It's your right as a worker.
Thousands and thousands.
Get your revenge. They're stealing your life.
I've never stolen from a job. I've never done that.
You should have. I mean, it doesn't even the ledger. It doesn't even the ledger, but
wait. I'm sorry. I forgot. At my last job, I stole all their hearts.
Okay. We do need to get to the.
We absolutely
they still come to my shows because I stole their hearts.
Producer Ron just walked into the sun. Here we go.
Andrew?
Here we go. I've got the letter. I'm going to pair. This is a great, robust letter. This is a long one. We love a long letter, no problem. But I will paraphrase. I will paraphrase some of the letter just in the effort because we've been luxuriating in these
for a second.
Work
Producer
riffs.
Ron, you lay out flat. In exhaustion and in exasperation because of what I said. And then Adam gives you that and you smirk.
It's robusty.
And you smirk.
I missed it the first time he said it.
It's pretty good.
Robusty.
And that is why people find you irrelevant.
Wow.
As you were, Andrew.
Okay, so I will paraphrase
What's going on
some
behind the scenes today, guys?
some aspects of this letter as we're getting into this. Here we go. Dear Grolix, advice fight. So this person, they've been working remote since 2021, and now they have to go back to the office. This is a problem that's happening to many industries. They want people back in the office. It's non-negotiable. So we skip ahead a little bit. My question is, how do I survive this prison of other people's bodily functions every day? The things that make me feel like I'm living in hell are, and then there's a handy list: coughing, sneezing, farting all over the office all day, smelling other people's food all day and having to use shared microwaves, terrible lighting, shared spaces where we were all talking but on different calls,
Oh,
so
man.
overstimulating.
Absolutely.
Restrooms with multiple stalls, more farting, people stopping by to chitter chat about meaningless nonsense all the time. So that's the list. They've looked at other jobs. They can't leave their job. So that's not an option. They're not considering leaving this job. That is not what they were asking for advice on. They're asking for advice on how to deal with this prison
Adam's
of other
advice is out.
people's.
You can't tell them to become a swinger and move to Florida or whatever it is that
You can't
wanna-
tell me that I can't tell them that.
And then they close their letter. Otherwise, how do I cope each day while I'm there? Also, why are boomers and extroverts so obsessed with offices and making us all miserable? Thanks. Love the show. Signed, Living in Office Hell.
Boy, oh boy. This
They
is
did
rough.
too in the beginning part say that they will be returning to a cubicle environment. This will be
This is cubes.
cubes. So
A
we
human
do know
energy
that.
farm.
Yeah. All right. Well, we have our question, and man, this is a good one.
Yeah, let's take a break. Let's take a quick break. If you back our Patreon, you get an ad-free episode. But if you don't, you're going to hear some ads. We thank you all for supporting our Patreon. Your support means the world to us, and it actually does support us as artists in this very up and down field of comedy. Every supporter on Patreon is
real.
incredibly valuable.
It is. We joke about it a lot, but it is a massive help, and it allows us to be able to be comedians and to put
Keeps
out
us out of the cubes.
Yeah.
Keeps us out of the cubes. I'll tell you what.
And
It
we
really does. And that's getting harder and harder and harder. So it really helps us continue to live these comedy lives. And we appreciate it so much.
Yes.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And when you come up and say hi and you introduce yourselves at shows, thank you again. If we don't get a chance to say it enough in person, it means a ton.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So stick around. We'll be back with our advice.
Stay tuned.
Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely, and parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Try Greenlight risk-free today at greenlight.com/Spotify.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Somebody else bring us in. I always bring us back in.
Okay. I'll
do it. I got it.
No, I was
okay.
going to.
I stepped on you.
But you
want to do it?
You want to?
Jesus
You could do it.
If you wanna-
Christ. This
I
is
mean,
why
No, but I don't mind.
I keep.
This
I'm
is
sorry.
why
I keep.
I
No, I
always
keep
stepping on your
stepping
toes.
But if you want to,
No, you go. You
were
said
gonna
it
say
first.
something. I'll go
Adam,
ahead.
would you like? I thought Adam. I thought we were going to go back to Adam. Okay, you could do it, Ben.
No, I thought we were going back.
Welcome back to the second act of Advice Fight. We are back. We have taken a break. We have armed ourselves with all sorts of advice. Listeners, as you know, we are here to help the letter writer, but we are also here to fucking win, to give the best advice. That's why we get up in the morning. That's why we play the game. And we're going to crown a winner.
This podcast is still being broadcast through foreign-made products on American soil. So we will be crowning a winner.
Thank you,
Thank
America. There can only be one winner, and it's the wealthy. Ben, you won last
There's that Urban Outfitters
episode.
talking.
That is the Urban Outfitters talk.
Sorry, my bad. It's the Urban Outfitters. It's a UO Army chiming in. You won last time, Ben. It was a pity win.
You get to pick
That's
the order.
to be what you rack up. Only pity wins, but you did win.
And let me tell you, after that episode, I celebrated.
How'd you celebrate, dog?
I went to Chili's with Andrew. Andrew, you said you were going
I
to
want my
invite
baby
him.
back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back. I want my baby back, baby. Well, it's hard to do without.
Andrew, do you want to go? I mean, I could go first if you.
You can't.
What-
You have to go
no,
last
did
because you
want-
won.
okay. So I was just going to see.
Go last.
Andrew, do you want to go? How do you?
I'm
wanna
not
do-
even going to answer because I'm not going to play your game. Nice try.
Just trying to
Just to
call back.
recap the letter. We've got somebody who has been working remotely and they've been enjoying it and they love their job. They have to go back to the office. It's non-negotiable. How do they survive this prison of other people's bodily functions?
And more than that, all of it, the food,
terrible
sharing
lighting,
of the restrooms, the bad lighting, the
chit
chatter.
chat about bullshit. Yeah.
There's always the person who talks so fucking loud on a call.
Dude,
and
you're on a call on a different subject. Yeah, it's awful.
Holy shit, shut the fuck up. Like, you don't have to talk that loud.
Yes.
Yeah, it is a pain in the ass. I get to pick the order because, as they said, I won last time, and Andrew and I celebrated at Chili's with a fried platter which I will say is good, and is, he mentioned it in an episode previous, an AK-47 clip amount of mozzarella. So
I think it was in one of the birthday shout outs we did. But regardless,
it's all part of the Grolix universe.
MCU, the GCU, Grolix Cinematic Universe.
Absolutely.
I'm going to pick here. I am going to have you go first, Andrew. Andrew will get into the Toctagon first.
You got it.
He will be giving his advice first. One more, just a quick recap of the rules. Each person has 3 minutes. When they get down to their last minute, they're going to hear this sound. Oh, that's great. And when that means they have 1 minute, and that's it. When they're at the end of their 3 minutes, we'll all go. We're going to vote at the end. You can't vote for yourself. And winner take all on this one.
I mean,
Andrew,
bing, bang, boom. That's a fucking episode.
That
done
is.
and done.
Andrew, why don't you get into the Toctagon
Bing,
here?
bang, boom.
You cartwheeled last time. I'd like to see you back somersault, so I'm going to give you a little shot.
I'm doing a
into
series
there.
of back handsprings.
Wow. That was six. That was six.
And I stand up and there's just vomit slicked all down the front of my jumpsuit.
He can do them, but he gets so motion sick during.
Oh, too much muesli this morning. Oh.
You don't want to have to compete on the gym mat after Andrew. It's really clutch to go before because you are traipsing through a field of vomit at that point.
Yep.
Do you really eat muesli for breakfast?
Oh, yeah.
God, you are so fucking old, dude.
What's wrong with muesli? What are you talking about?
What is muesli?
It's like you don't even know? It's just like
No,
a
it just
type of
sounds
cereal.
old. It's
I
like
always-
some-
oats and dried
went hard
fruit.
on the X. I always said muslix.
Is it muslix? I think it's
No,
muesli.
I don't know.
You guys
I'm
are
just telling you what I've done.
The important thing is we've taken a detour
I
from
love
where
how you
we were
guys-
going to kind of
I love how it
answer
was
it.
like, I don't know what it is. And you're like, I call it muesli. I don't know what it is. You don't know what the fuck it is either.
I didn't say I didn't know. I never was saying I know what it is. I just saying here's how I
He's
pronounce
saying he
it.
pronounced it with
I've
an
seen
X.
the box and I'm like, it looks old because it's like brown. Like the box is like brown. And I
You'd
don't.
love it, Ben. You'd
I
love
need
it.
something
Deviate
brightly
from your
colored.
morning tomato and go get some.
You know, my morning tomato is keeping me from getting perimenopausal. And that's the only thing I'm teetering on perimenopausal. By the way, producer Ron helped me spell that during the break. That's not a joke.
Wow.
All right. Andrew, you are in the Toctagon. You are ready to give advice to our listener. And here we go in 3, 2, 1, advice.
Okay, listener, I am right there with you. It's not every day I get a letter here in Advice Fight HQ where I'm like, oh yeah, this is also me. I can fucking feel this in my bones. Not that long ago, I had a job offer for an events coordinator for this corporation, and I was like, oh yeah, cool, I'd be perfect for this. And then they revealed to me that my job would actually be enticing employees to come back to the office, and I was like, no, I'm not going to do this. Even though this is a great salary, I don't want to convince people to come back to the office. I don't want to be part of your villainous scheme. I'm not going to do it. So I am right there with you, and I'm sorry you have to go back to the office. But to go through your list here of things, how to handle this prison of other people's bodily functions, some of this stuff you can change and some of it you can't. And we can go down the list here. Coughing, sneezing, farting all over the office. You can't do anything about farts. Farts are just gonna, you can, the only thing you can do about a fart is maybe to yell, who the fuck farted? Anytime you smell one. And that way people just know if I fart in the office, it's going to set off this fart alarm.
Also,
you could try
call farts beefers. Call them beefers.
Beefers. Who beefed it? What the fuck? In terms of like coughing and sneezing, you could try to implement, some kind of like mask policy. Other people are going to fucking hate that. And that's great because that brings me to the meat of my advice, which
Americans
is it's
love it.
fine to be everybody's enemy in the office. You're not there to make friends. You're there to get paid. You're there to do your job. And if you can do your job and you do it well, go ahead and be the enemy. You're the person who started the mask initiative. You're the person who brought the whiteboard on whose day it is to clean the fucking microwave. Do they like you? No. But are things changing and a little bit better? Maybe. But hey, guess what? In either case, they're not making small talk with you anymore because they don't like you, because you're that person. So just embrace being the villain in the office, and some of these problems you'll solve. You'll just solve through being unfriendly. I've had plenty of jobs where I've iced people out. I've mastered the art of just lowering the air temperature around me so that anyone who walks into the aura that I'm emitting is like, oh, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to chat with this person. And if you can just practice that, it'll pay off in any kind of cube. Your cube is your own little safe space. You can, hopefully you can decorate it. Try to pretend like you're escaping.
Decorate your cube, he says.
Decorate your cube and just stay there. Just stay there as long as you can. Yeah, get a Garfield. Adam said it derisively. Get a fun Garfield calendar.
It's gonna pay off.
It's gonna pay off. Oh, Garfield, it's just you and me, bud. It's just you and me. You scream through your tears. That's it. That's it for me.
That Odie. What an idiot.
What the fuck was your advice?
There was a lot of things.
Yeah, but break it down. Like I
be the
it was
villain.
sort of like
it was to embrace being the villain. Yeah. It was to embrace being the villain because it will pay off in terms of people not wanting to bother you.
Basically being the angry neighbor on the block.
You don't have to be angry. You don't have to be angry, but you're like, hey, let's wear masks. You got to cough and sneeze? Let's wear masks in here. People, they hate that. Like the average American hates masks. They're too stupid to realize that masks benefit them and are healthier for everyone around them. But you know that. So just try to implement a mask. If you're sick, if you're sneezing, if you're coughing, it's time for a mask. You need to wear a mask in here because it helps everyone. And you can start that initiative at your office. You can try.
Oh, okay. So I get it. So because if you're the person that everybody hates, they're more likely to listen to you. Cool. That makes sense.
No. They're more likely to not talk to you.
No, you'll just become the fucking enemy of everybody in there, and nothing will
leave
change.
you alone. They won't be like trying to chat you up about the fucking game or whatever bullshit they want to talk about.
I did it for so long working in those environments that legitimately when you started talking about decorating your cubicle, there was a visceral sadness.
I saw you react.
Yeah, like oh God, every new one where you'd be like, just gonna hang up these sad photos of my kid.
It's always of your kid and your partner to be like, this is why I'm here, like a prisoner,
You also were kind of sad because people are gonna ask you about it all the time.
Is that your kid? Wow,
cute kid. doesn't look like it. Looks like
Hang on, let me show you my kid. Let me find it in my phone.
You know what's a power move? Take their photos of their families and put them up in your cubicle.
In your cube, like a hit list. No, get some red yarn and start connecting them in ways only you can understand.
I'm not going home yet. I think I'm going to stay another hour, work on a few things, and then get them all in your cubicle.
Oh, God. Yeah.
How insane would that be? Is that my son's soccer photo in your cubicle?
Janitor did some shit.
The janitor did that.
Yep.
Amazing.
All right. Well, we have Andrew's sort of advice of just fucking.
Well, it was actual advice, not sort of advice.
It was sort of advice. It wasn't really. It
was real advice. Oh, it was actual advice. I've used it. I said that in my advice. If you were listening.
No, it wasn't real advice. You just kind of told them to show up and just tell people to wear masks and whatever. Adam, you are up. I'm going to push you into the Toctagon here. You are in there.
I'm not. Open the door at least.
No. The door gets shut, and you are in there. Are you ready for your advice fight time here?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, here we go. And 3, 2, 1, advice.
Despite Ben and Andrew's portrayal of me as growing up as some sort of landed aristocracy where I had no jobs except maybe wandering by the stables and inquiring about the care of the horses, I actually did work in an office in a cubicle setting for 5 years.
5 years. Okay.
5 years I was in that cubicle.
Yep.
And I hated sitting in a cubicle, even when I was a bullpen full of writers doing interesting things and could leave whenever I want. I still hated those hours being in a fucking cubicle, having to do that work and be annoyed by all the things that you are annoyed by, letter writer. And so what I tried to do was get out of that environment as much as I possibly could. How does one do that in a traditional office setting? By starting to smoke cigarettes. The cigarette break is the key to corporate survival.
Fuck, that's
you
good.
gotta fire a dart into your system every time you start to feel the ennui taking you out. You need a heater. And you rip through that fucking sea of cubicles to the back loading dock to whoever's smoking. I guarantee the conversation's more interesting than the bullshit you're having inside. And you're saying, I don't want to smoke. It'll kill me. Fuck you. You're already dying.
Yeah, you're working back in the office.
That's
God,
tough love, but it's not wrong.
Good.
You're already dying. This will help you go out a little fucking cooler.
Fuck.
Should I vape? No. You could vape inside. You can't smoke inside. Can't.
This is all true.
Camel Lights. Ooh, I loved a Camel Light. And here's the thing. I started out 1-2 a day. By the end of that, I was up to 10, 12 a day. At least 1 or 2 an hour. Just over the working hours.
1 minute left.
So you gotta get those heaters in your system. You gotta get out and smoke as much as possible. And no one will bother you because they don't want to like squash that right that you have. So go smoke. Also, that's my main advice. This is a sub advice. A cubicle is not a cubicle if you turn it into an office. Wait one day, stay afterwards, use cardboard and fashion a roof over the top of your cubicle. Make a little door, carve it out. It's your space. No one can see you. No one can hear you, except maybe kind of through the cardboard. Over time, get more materials from Home Depot, build it up, build it out. Make your cubicle
so
an
like
office.
An ice shack or something like that.
Yeah, 100%. But even in that scenario, leave it as much as possible to support your addiction of smoking cigarettes.
Wow.
Right. A buzzer beater. He came in right at the end.
I mean, I got to say, I had so many cube jobs where I would smoke, and you do find what a shortcut to finding the 1 or 2 other tolerable people at the office. When you go out there, you're like, oh, who's this other long-haired dude in the obituary t-shirt under his polo? It's Johnny, my new best friend at AT&T.
He's always got his shoulder blades against the brick wall, just head back, staring up at the sky, eyes closed.
And
he's
as producer
just
Ron just lobbed in the chat, cigarettes, they kill your sense of smell. So guess what? All of that farting that you're worried about, you're not really clocking
All
it
those
anymore.
office meals from the microwave that stink so bad. Man, who cares, man? All I smell is that nicotine on my hair and fingernails and teeth
And clothes and shoes.
and lungs. Oh, my whole body. It's full
My whole
of it.
body.
Full
Been
of it.
hotboxing in my car because it's January. All right.
I mean, the smoking is, smokers get
You scooped
They go
Ben on that one. So bravo, Adam.
way
Bravo.
way beyond the normal amount of breaks and
Yeah,
times.
and
for
nobody
breaks.
says a fucking thing.
It is an
Nobody
absolute
says a fucking thing.
hack. It is
Where's
a hack.
Where's Derek? He's out smoking, and all right, I'll catch him when he
I
comes.
think that
back
it
in.
is definitely diminished. I mean, obviously there's fewer smokers and stuff, but it's still, you do still see people smoking outside. They've got little ashtrays set up and stuff, and it, yeah. I never had a job say shit about me going out
neither.
and smoking.
Me neither.
No.
Never.
Never. I mean, it was part of it, and there was always that spot. And like you said, it's out the back door. It's on the loading dock. You're like, this building. We don't sell anything.
And
It's
if there's
a tech
anyone
company.
else
Why is there
subversive
a
in that
loading
office,
dock?
they're going to be out there.
And if you're nervous about starting, I'll tell you what, wander out there and just very shyly go, hey, does anybody mind if I bum a smoke? That's how it fucking starts.
That's how
and
it
then,
starts.
Now you start buying your own. It's a gate. They'll help you. They'll teach you. They'll show you the ways.
Right.
Just go out there and ask.
Yeah.
you
And can
wanna-
I just say, you don't even have to inhale. Just puff away.
You
Nobody's
don't even
checking.
have to. Just
Nobody's
take the
checking.
cigarette and
Puff.
eat it right in front of them.
Power move.
Put it out on your fucking arm. It's time you're not in your cubicle.
You're the weird guy in the office.
Just chew
now.
up a cigarette like a
Right.
bull,
Yeah.
like a goat.
Yeah, just fucking chew right
Just
through
sideways
it. and then
chew it, unbroken eye contact
Not
with your
saying a
manager.
word.
It's so good.
Your manager comes out to be like, "Where the fuck are you guys?" You just put another one in your mouth slowly.
He just ate 2 cigarettes right in front of me. When you go back in, no one's ever going to fuck with you again. That's so good.
Yeah.
That's really good, Adam. The cigarette.
Oh,
is
wow. The
crucial.
bar's been
Fuck,
set.
That's hard.
The bar's been set, but we're not done. Ben, you still got to get into the Toctagon.
Oh, man, that's hard.
Get in there. Get in there.
I'll get in
Pull
there.
your tearaway pants off. Get in there.
I'm
All
going to
right.
go real advice on this one. Since
Oh,
we got-
Shit,
well,
Ben's
spoiler
climbing
alert.
a platform and getting onto a zip line into the
Yeah.
octagon. I didn't even know we fucking had that option.
Who put that soapbox in there?
But it's like one of those videos where I'm not like, it's got a hard stop and I do like a backflip because it stops so
You just get
abruptly.
joinked right off of
Yeah,
it. Wow.
yeah.
Well, either way, he's in 3, 2, 1.
Advice.
So, if you've worked in a call center for a long enough period of time, what I have noticed is that it is not a lot of people doing this. It is usually 1 or 2 repeat offenders. I remember when I worked for NetQuote, we had a person who would keep a full jug of milk at their desk all day long and just sip from it.
They call that going farm style.
And then there's always the person who has odd smelling foods every time. It's always usually 1 or 2 repeat offenders. I am going the opposite direction of Andrew, because if you want to win this, you have to go back and be the most likable, popular person in the office. You have to be the person that everybody likes, so that when you do speak up, it carries more weight. And I am not joking, and I will not speak as to when I did it or how, but there was a problem person who had very poor hygiene and may have been a good employee, but always their cubicles smelled. It was disgusting. And I have a good way of
What are we talking,
ingratiating
feet, butt?
myself to managers and to supervisors and to my coworkers around them.
You're a bit of a kiss ass.
Yes, I learned. I would be very involved. I'd invite people out afterwards. I'd hang out, chat with people. I'm very social, and I will tell you, I will tell you, I eventually, after a very short period of time, got that person fired.
You are the villain. You are the villain.
I love this.
Simply because I was so likable, I was able to convince person that person
poor
was
stinky
probably
person,
unnecessary.
unemployed. Their life is probably destroyed.
And I am going to do. I don't care. They were like you were completely selfish.
They offended my
and
olfactory
unaware
senses.
if you don't realize that everyone else around you suffers because you exist like
People
that.
don't realize that.
Exactly. And they should not work in those environments then, because part of working in an environment like that is coexisting in an ecosystem of other people.
Yeah, but
Last
unless
thing,
somebody
Andrew,
tells
shut
you,
up.
you
I'm
don't
actually
know.
appealing to the board for 5 more seconds because Andrew has repeatedly
pathetic.
interrupted me.
Pathetic.
Well, maybe
Noted.
think about that next time.
Heard. Granted.
Thank you.
not the
Last
board.
thing I will say, the only one I
Damn.
want to address, restrooms with multiple stalls, more farting, go to the other floors. If it's at all possible, that's a hack. Trick right there. That's a little bit of a life hack in these. You always walk
Here comes
down
the
a floor or two.
shitter from floor 7.
Exactly. Always go to a different floor. Do not use your own floor's bathroom. I am almost at the end of my penalty time, and that's all I got to say about that.
Ben,
Come
I do
the
wanna
golden
say-
boy to get people fired. I can't believe I never knew this about you. Ugh,
Wait, I'll reserve my
What
judgment
a
for the
little
next
finger. What a little finger from
I
Game
am
of Thrones.
the most, I will say this, I am the most Machiavellian person in a cubicle environment.
Gosh, it sounds
It's-
like it.
You have
So
to. It's survival, man.
And other people, there are the 1 or 2 who will see it and they don't like me for it. But it's like, well, too bad. And those are the Andrews of the world. They're like, put on your mask. Me. And I'm like, no, you don't have to do that. Fuck that shit. Hey, we hanging out afterwards?
Oh,
and then I
God.
Go to
get
happy
you
hour?
fired. And
I'm
then
not
I
going to get you
fucking
fired. I'm going to beat
fired.
you with a tire iron on your way into the office while I'm out smoking with Johnny, my best friend.
You always choose the villain from Karate Kid as your best friend.
This is a real guy. This is a real. Shout out Johnny from AT&T, wherever you are. I think he moved to Oregon. Great guy. He drove an old cop car. You know, you can buy a cop car that they like decommission. He drove an old cop
Still
car.
had the
So
round
cool.
little like spotlight thing on
It
it.
had
Don't
the
you
white,
hate when
yeah,
you-
the
don't you hate
spotlight
it?
lights had the white doors. That's
Yeah,
great.
you're like, you're clearly a fucking creep. There's no way you own that. And you aren't like faking being a police officer and pulling people over.
Yeah, don't you hate when you get one of those behind you and you stop speeding and drive all careful for fucking 3 miles till you realize what's going on?
It's
You're like,
fucking
fuck you.
Johnny from AT&T who
you,
just
dude.
invested
Johnny
in an old
rules. I
California
won't. I
highway
will
patrol.
not tolerate Johnny slander on this podcast.
All right, we have given
Johnny
our
and I kept
advice.
each other
By the way,
sane
side
in the
note,
customer service minds of AT&T.
This is crazy. I played rhythm guitar in Johnny Slander from 2003 to 2005.
We have
So-
given our advice. Legally, we have to take a break. We will come back and we will issue the
There
verdict
can only be one.
and the winner.
There can only
Third
be one.
act is coming up. Stay tuned, y'all.
Hey, business owners, we know you know the importance of maximizing every dollar. With the Delta SkyMiles Reserve Business American Express card, you can make your expenses work just as hard as you. From afternoon coffee runs to stocking office supplies and even team dinners, you can earn miles on all your business expenses. Plus, you can earn 110,000 bonus miles for a limited time through July 16th. The Delta SkyMiles Reserve Business Card. If you travel, you know. Minimum spending requirements and terms apply. Offer ends 7/16/25.
Hey, can one of you guys bring it in? I'm tired of always bringing it in.
Oh, yeah. I don't mind. Do it.
I also said I don't
got to
mind. No.
No, I
don't-
can do it. Oh, well,
I really don't
you
mind.
know, actually, you know what?
Christ.
If you want, you can totally take it. I truly do
Yeah.
not mind.
I
Do you
don't
wanna
mind
do-
either. That's why I said I don't mind.
Okay,
it's,
but
it's
go
fine with me if
ahead.
I.
But if you
It's
want,
fine with if either one of us do.
no,
it.
but if you,
We can't do it at the same time.
No,
we
we
are
can't.
back, third actors. Thank you for joining us. This is where we issue the verdict. This is where a winner is crowned. It's been a
Dun, dun.
very,
Dun, dun.
very good episode, and thank you for a great letter. This is something I think everyone can relate
good
to.
one, and
even
this
if
is
they're
happening
painted
to-
as richer
yeah.
than they are, which is unfair.
Okay, you didn't have a stable, Jesus.
No,
But you
I
did have a stable boy. True or false? You did have a stable boy on the
unpaid
premises.
intern.
an unpaid intern for a family.
Yeah, with no stable,
this is
but
weird.
he's interning in stable arts, in the arts of the stable.
This is a weird job. So just to recap our advice, I said,
let you guys find that riff.
I said, shut up. I said, embrace being the villain, and it will pay off in all of these other ways. I said that you can make yourself unfriendly so that people will just naturally find you repellent and leave you alone, and then you can just do your work, and it's great. Adam said, start smoking. Smoke. Enjoy your smoke break. Spend a lot of time not in the office.
Fucking good.
And then Ben said,
our delinquent Patreon fans are going to fucking love that. I'd like
Ben
to
said,
say,
drop to your knees, crawl up the stairs all the way to the top, ask Mr. Big Boss to unbuckle his pants, pull down his Kohl's pleated khakis, and squat down over you so that you can wriggle your nose all the way up his asshole till it tickles his colon and become the golden boy of the office so that you can get people fired for being stinky. Did I miss? Did I miss?
Wow. Give my man a paintbrush. Give my man a canvas. Get out of his way.
From now on, I'd prefer to do my own summaries. I'd like to put that.
I might have paraphrased.
The problem.
Oh, wow.
The problem is, you all know that mine is the only one that truly works.
Oh my God!
Truly works.
Mine works.
I've used mine. I've used my
mine.
advice.
You have not stayed at a job for more than 6 months your entire life, Andrew.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that doesn't mean that I didn't find ways to survive while I was there. By being unfriendly on purpose.
I ended up as a supervisor at places with literally, you all have heard me talk. I have no business guiding people in any manner, and I've worked my way to that. We all know the correct answer.
Ben's the apps and margs guy. Hey, you guys wanna go to TGA Fridays after this?
Fuck yeah, they do. And they want to get hammered, and you pick up the tab from time to time, and the next thing you know, fucking old greasy Bill from over in accounts receivables is out on his duff. That's episode number 2.
Villain.
Where I've used duff.
Villainous
I'll be a
shit.
fucking villain. I am a true villain. You are a fucking...
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm like, don't actually be a bad person, but embrace their perception of you being a villain. You're like,
it is kill
I'm
and
an
be killed in
actual
an
villain.
office. Be a fucking bad person. Be a bad person.
We gotta vote.
Truly
We gotta
bad.
vote.
We gotta
We've
vote.
given
It's time to
our
vote. It's time to
advice.
vote.
Andrew,
And
you're the first person to
I'm gonna vote
go.
first. Yeah. And this was easy for me, but I will also qualify that if somebody smells in your office, they truly might not know it. I play a lot of Magic the Gathering at local game shops, and I'll tell you what, people don't always know when they don't smell great. And they have to be told, sometimes there has to be some sort of polite intervention of like, hey, just so you know, this, and this. People adjust to their own smells. You don't want to get somebody fired because they're stinky. Take a few, try a few other options first, like letting them know. Let them know.
Of milk throughout the. Do you know what psychologically that does?
They wanted you to leave them alone. They wanted you to stop coming over, inviting them out to BW Dubs for happy hour. They were like, God, I hope this room temperature jug of milk keeps this fucking glad-handing piece of shit away from my cube. Nope, he got you fired. He got you fired over it. That's what he did. So I'm voting for Adam because I know that the cigarette trick works. I mean, just him talking about it, I was like, if I ever end up in an office again, I'm absolutely picking up the cools again.
Yeah.
100%.
Because you've ended up in an office again. So you don't want to live.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't care at that point.
Yeah.
Adam, you go ahead. You're up. Andrew has chosen you. You've got one vote for you.
I mean, it was a swish vote. It wasn't even a...
Well, here's what I'm going to say. While in practice, I would definitely do what Andrew does and make myself almost a hostile presence to everyone in the office. That's how I would do it. I do admire the Machiavellian bent of Ben because I do think I like that he gets power in this scenario. There was a dude that I went to high school with, Brian Sworn, and he was cool, but he ran for class president every year, and his mom worked at a candy factory. And he would come in with a trash bag a trash bag full of candy, just like the day before elections. Just walk around the school handing out candy. And Brian Sworn was elected class president every fucking year. And Brian Sworn, he ruled with an iron fist. He did what he wanted in that fucking chair. And it didn't matter. We forgot it every year because of candy. And so I've seen the results.
He's now the president.
Yeah. He was actually kind of a very nice guy and a track star and cool guy anyway. But the candy was a real move.
This is the candy talking. This is just the candy talking.
Yeah.
Adam.
And I guarantee you there's a person who disappeared because of Brian.
Right. I don't know what he did when he got into the chair. I was just too busy eating candy. I didn't care.
Who cares? You're having a good time. And you're not the problem, Adam.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry. You're not the problem.
I'm not the problem. So I got to vote for Ben just for the efficacy of the whole endeavor. I'm impressed by it.
I think this is political and you were just covering for it. I'll take it. That's fine.
No, dude, it's because it's like I'm interested in the idea because it's not something that I do. What you did is what I would do. So that I know that world.
And you both know that what you guys have been doing is not working.
Right.
It does work. I'm telling you it works because I've done it.
No, and you do not move up or
and
get
we're
out
unhappy.
of the cubicle environment.
I think what he's saying is we remain fundamentally unhappy, Andrew.
Adam, could you say it again? Say fundamentally.
We still remain fundamentally unhappy here.
Fundamentally
and
unhappy.
So are we winning? Does it work for us? I don't know. Why am I so miserable?
Exactly.
Because you're not smoking, because you quit smoking. Ben, it's your vote.
Yeah, I mean, the vote is easy. We all know what the answer is. And the only reason Adam voted for me is because he can't vote for himself. This would have been a full sweep if he could. Listen, listener, start fucking smoking. I mean, if you're saying you're not going to quit your fucking job and you have to go deal with all these people, and it sounds like from the length of your letter and the tone of it, you are a wildly unlikable person yourself.
Yes.
I would say
not true.
I'm just kidding. No, what I'm assuming from this is that you are a person who doesn't like all the bullshit of this, and you probably have a very difficult time hiding your contempt on your face. I'm just going to assume that you're a person who, when you see or smell something, you show it. You can't help it. Like
I
Andrew
think a trait that unites a lot of people who have a low tolerance for bullshit is that they want to smoke cigarettes. That's like
exactly.
That's the Venn diagram.
So what I would say is, and Adam didn't present this, I will add a little trick to that as well. Get a fake vape pen. So you don't even have to start smoking. You just get all the perks of hanging out back with the cool kids, but you don't have to. And you can just rip on this little thing that's basically a nebulizer, a small little, or, maybe little trace amounts of moisture. You're blowing out a little smoke and just stand around. And Andrew and Adam and I can help you real quick with some things you can say real quick while you're hanging out back. Just
fucking
a lot of
Ben, am I right? Fucking ass kisser.
Yeah. Blow it
I don't
out
know. I gotta say, this weird fake cigarette thing, smokers can sense this deception.
No,
you come
they
around
can't
with your
sense
little
it on a
robo
vape.
cigarette to
They
puff
will
on
not know with a
puff on
fake-
some what?
with a
Some mint
placebo vape.
extract.
I was going to
No.
go the other way. I was going to say lean in, start on Stogs, spend 40 minutes out there.
Yeah, it takes 45 minutes to smoke one. Sorry, boss, not done
You're
yet.
just smoking full-size Havana Cuban
Yeah,
cigars.
and I
Or
think
maybe
you're
a
about- I
pipe,
think-
you're tamping
I think
down.
The brass will be impressed with you because it projects success. They're like, "What's up with this guy
What's up
smoking
with
the
this
Stogs
fat
down
cat?
there?
What's up with this fat
We gotta
cat?
get
You
him
know
up
what?
into the office,
Guys, honestly, you could combine all of ours together, come out on every about an hour and a half to the loading dock with a hookah. And that allows you to, you get sheesh in there and it's a communal thing. So now
Yeah.
you're also doing kind of mine where you're cool. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Where the fuck is analytics? They're down on the hookah again, sir. Oh my god.
And if you have a hookah, you've definitely got a Honda Civic that's been lowered.
That you've
It's got a
backed in,
spoiler.
you've backed down the
Yeah.
alley,
Yeah.
and you've opened the hatchback trunk. You got the full setup. There's
Some
pillows in there.
music being played, some lo-fi beats. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
all of a
not
sudden,
bad.
you're
Not
the
bad.
cool guy smoker, which to me is like a double whammy if you could get him.
Hold on, here comes Ben. He's backing his hatchback down the alley. Everybody,
Beep.
there he is.
Yeah.
Fuck, I
The
need a
party's
fix.
here. The
Yeah.
party's here.
And then it's
amazing.
And then it's it's just all old school, not like Technotronics, like pump up the jam, pump it up.
Why the?
I think
The worst pizza you've ever had.
Well, we have our winner. Congrats, Adam.
Thank you,
Great
boys.
win.
This is a win
Good,
for
solid.
smoking.
Yeah, and a win for cigarettes everywhere. And in case you haven't noticed, this is another bonus. If you've passed any convenience store, they all have a weirdly generic banner that announces new lower prices on cigarettes. The only thing that's apparently changed with this new regime. New lower prices on cigarettes.
And you guys mocked me as if I had no work experience, and I am showing you with this win I have work experience.
be honest, Andrew,
Sure, Adam.
when he said smoking, your heart sank because that was mine. I
told him. I was like, you scooped Ben. You scooped him.
You didn't have smoking as yours?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I went first. I would have said smoking.
Oh, I forgot which
didn't
order.
go there.
God, I am
No.
out of it right now.
All right,
No,
well,
I
this
was
is a
trying to
great
go
episode.
practical life advice that I'd also done. I quit smoking, so I didn't say smoking.
Well,
Letter writer, thank you for a
thank
great letter.
you.
We hope this helps you today. We know from experience it will.
oh yeah,
It absolutely will.
and I guarantee you, all of our listeners are going. Yeah, I mean, they all do. Smokers.
Anyone
get-
who's ever taken a smoke break knows. Anyone. We will put a poll up. If you think we're off base in some way, shape, or form, or you have your own advice, we will have a poll on our Patreon. Any level of membership gets to vote on it, so check it out. And thank you to this letter writer for
again,
taking
thank
the
you
first
so
step.
much.
Yeah.
This was great and fun little trip down memory lane.
To the worst times of our life.
Indeed. But let's look towards the future of our plugs. What's coming up for you guys?
I'll tell you what's coming up into June. Guess what? It's Grolix time. June 28th. Get there. Get there to the Grolix. Who do we have, Adam? Give me this
Kiri
lineup.
Shabazz headlining. We've
Amazing.
got Joshua Emerson making his debut, and we got our friend
So funny.
Babs Gray stopping in.
That's an insane
so cool
lineup. That
Babs
is an
is joining.
insane lineup.
Yeah, she just messaged me. She's going to be in town, and she's running over and doing a set. I'm pumped.
Yeah. I have a new game coming out. Speaking of terrible office jobs, it's like a kind of horror comedy game set in an office tower in hell. It's called
shit.
Corpborg. If you go to my website,
Fucking genius. dude.
occupiedhex.com,
You're fucking genius.
you can get more information about that. I've got a mailing list you can sign up
How
for.
appropriate too for this
Yeah,
episode.
It's perfect timing. Perfect timing. You guys didn't even know that. What do you guys got?
July 29th through July 8th, I'll be in Maine visiting my family. Do not talk to me.
Wow. Okay.
I love that it's July 29th through July 8th, so you're going backwards
no, June
in time.
29th. No, I'm kidding. I will be July 11th and 12th. I will be in Casper, Wyoming at the Rialto Theater. I will
There's
be
like
doing
one cool person in Casper booking this theater.
Yeah, it's great.
amazing.
They're doing awesome stuff up there. It's a beautiful room. If you are in
The
Wyoming,
D'Elia booking was great.
oh, did they do? I don't know.
All right. Look, I haven't looked at every person. I saw that Beth Stelling was
Adam.
just there.
Yeah, they are free people. They
Being dead serious. I love his stuff.
Okay. Well, now I'm really
Oh,
torn.
I could blow this podcast up with some deep intel on that, but I will
What? Dish girl.
at the behest of the person involved, or that I will not because
All
I'm
right,
not.
we'll save that for the
supposed to tell.
Patreon.
Join our
expanded
Patreon.
level.
We'll probably talk about
dish.
it in the Act
We'll
4.
dish. I want to plug a show. It's coming up a little bit from now, but I want to plug it. It's August 8th. I'm going to be in Tucson, Arizona at the Southeast Arizona Birding Festival. I'm so fucking
Amazing.
excited. These guys reached out to me. They said, Adam, you're a bird guy. Come tell some jokes. I said, listen, I've done this. Half your audience is going to love me. Half of them is going to hate me because they're too old. They said, Adam, don't worry about it. We're going to book a show for you in a venue on your own, and we're just going to be the umbrella that presents you. Come bird with us, then the next day you get to do your own fucking show, and that's what's happening. I'm so excited. Southeast Arizona Birding Festival, August 8th, Tucson, Arizona. I will be at 191 Tool, which I hear is a very cool venue, and I will be birding when I'm not performing. So if you're in Arizona, if you're in Tucson, come on out to that.
And could I make a suggestion just in case there are some of those old people that you don't like? Go in, be cool, have everyone like you there, and then get those people kicked out. That's the best. That is
Cold
the
as
best
ice.
way to run it.
Cold as ice. I want to thank producer Ron Doyle, as always. I want to thank Mike Henderson for having a sweet, sweet bod and also being pretty good with his recording device.
Well, his business is called Plan 9 Sound, and everybody should check that out.
I want to thank Illegal Pete's for sponsoring our live show, letting us bring in amazing acts month after month.
I want to thank Charlie Continental for always making some cool music to open our shows and our projects with. He's the bestest around.
I want to thank you two for putting down your swords for an episode and realizing we all like to fire darts when life is beating us over the head.
Fucking, you know that Andrew and I like to sax a dag or two in the fucking back patio of a cool call center. Hell yeah, dude. Also, give us a follow on all social media at Grawlix Comedy. Send us your questions. We're getting questions. This makes us so happy. It keeps the podcast going. It can be anything. You can remain anonymous. We'll say your name if you want us to. It doesn't matter. That would be questions@advicefight.com. Or message us on social media. That we've also got those through the Instagram or us
Those
individually.
will get there. We field them. We see them. We will bring them to the pod.
Yep. And then, as always, Patreon, thank you so much for supporting us. You all rule. This podcast works, and we continue to be comedians because of it. We love you so much. Thank you for doing that. Otherwise, that's an episode. That is a legally mandated episode. We can now say we have made a podcast episode, and you can't sue us, dorks.
And Ben, you can now say,
play us out, Charlie.
guys, let's go out back and fucking have a
blaze a heater. Let's do it.
Can I bum a smoke off you?
buddy?
They're menthols.
That's what I smoke. You're speaking my language.
Oh, man, we forgot to tell them to smoke menthols too. So no one
that was always people's dismay when I would bum a smoke and they'd be like, sorry, they're menthols. And I'd be like, no, friend, sorry for you, because that's my preferred cigarette.
I'll take it. I'm bisexual.
I'll take two.